Thank you, Senator Lee. We have Senator Hawley here now. So, Senator Hawley, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What a timely hearing. Professor Mascott, am I correct in thinking that you were a Supreme Court clerk?
Yes, for Justice Thomas.
Have you ever heard of a decision, a full draft opinion being leaked months before a case was to be decided? Did that happen while you were on the court?
It did not happen while I was a law clerk there, and it's really unprecedented in its breadth and shocking.
You know, it didn't happen when I was there either, when I was working as a law clerk. I've never heard of it happening. I'm not aware of this ever occurring in the history of the Supreme Court, a deliberate leak, along with vote tallies as well, in what is plainly an attempt to influence the deliberations of the court and to change the opinion of the court. Tell us about the effect of this from an Article III perspective. What's the effect on the independence and integrity of the judicial branch?
Well, Senator Hawley, I think it seems clear from the leak that the leakers' hope is that this will intimidate and it will undermine the legitimacy of the court and make it seem like it's not operating smoothly, where the court, I think, has been operating actually with quite a lot of collegiality. The justices are trying to apply the rule of law, and I trust that they will be able to overcome this and issue the correct constitutional decision in this case.
Mr. Dupree, same question for you. I mean, Article III independence and integrity is very important. It is increasingly under assault. We saw this before, back during the first Obamacare case. We saw a concerted effort in the press beginning at about this time of the year to pressure the court into a particular outcome. But this is a radical escalation. I mean, a radical breach of the court's confidentiality, a radical breach of the court's procedures, something that really strikes at the independence of the court itself. Tell us about your view on this. I mean, what's the damage that is being done to the court here?
I think it's a devastating action, what happened last night. And as you know, the Supreme Court, in order to fulfill its Article III authority, needs to deliberate in private. There needs to be an opportunity, a forum for a candid exchange of views, for the exchange of draft opinions as the justices work through these thorny constitutional questions. And when you have something like what happened here, which by all appearances appears to be a deliberate and calculated political act done for the purpose of influencing the outcome of the course, changing the course of the court's deliberations, it violates the sanctity of the fundamental core Article III role that the Supreme Court plays in our democracy. It's outrageous.
It truly is outrageous. Now, what about all of these liberal dark money groups that are piling on today and gleefully celebrating this, calling this leaker a champion of democracy, saying that this is celebrating it? I mean, saying that this is just wonderful. I mean, isn't this a calculated attempt to try and undermine the integrity of the court, the independence of the court, to try and destroy, basically, its independence?
I think it's a situation where you have people who are unhappy with the outcome. And in reaction to that thinking, they don't like what the Supreme Court appears poised to do. They basically want to tear the institution down. They want to dynamite the Supreme Court. They want to blow up the House. It's shocking and outrageous to me that people would treat an institution that, from many perspectives around the world, is one of the crown jewels of our constitutional government, is the United States Supreme Court, and that someone would do something like this, a direct attack on the integrity of the court in order to achieve their preferred political outcome, to me is abominable.
And presumably from inside the court. I mean, something I notice about this leak is this person knew the vote count. This person knew, they didn't just grab an opinion that was circulating around. This person knew what the vote was. They knew what it was on the day it was cast. They knew the status of the vote right now. I mean, if this isn't an attempt to change votes and to try to alter that outcome, I don't know what the good of it is. If the person who leaked this is a member of the bar, what are the consequences there? Mr. Dupree, you first.
Well, at a minimum, I could see bar associations stripping that individual of their license to practice law. Beyond that, I think there are just professional canons of responsibility that would govern law clerks or people acting in a legal capacity. And of course, there's also the possibility of criminal jeopardy. I think we'd need to know a lot more about what happened here. But at a minimum, there would be very, very severe sanctions on whoever was responsible for this action.
Professor Mascott, do you have anything to add to that?
I agree with what Mr. Dupree said. I mean, as you know, as a former law clerk, the code of confidentiality and integrity there was of utmost importance. It's shocking that it was violated, and obviously the individual who leaked it would not be able to be a trusted member of the bar.
Yeah, I would think at a minimum we'd be looking at disbarment here. This This is something I've never seen before. I'm not aware of it happening ever in Supreme Court history. And it is a grave assault on the institutional integrity of the court. And I certainly hope that nobody else saw the opinion before it was published. I mean, I hope that this opinion was not distributed, and I hope that the attacks that we're seeing are not coordinated, because that would be very, very serious indeed. And I certainly hope no members of this body saw the opinion before it was published and have coordinated in any way with what may well be a criminal act. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.